Good morning, students. So, we are continuing with autonomic nervous system, and today's topic is adrenergic receptors, or it is also called adrenoreceptors, adrenergic receptors or adrenoreceptors. These are membrane-bound receptors and are linked to G proteins. They traverse the cell membrane 7 times, like a serpent or serpentine line. They traverse the cell membrane 7 times. That is here. This denotes the cell membrane. And this is outside cell membrane, and this is inside. So you can see here that these receptors, they traverse the cell membrane 7 times in serpentine manner, सांप के तरह इस तरह से 7 बार ट्रैवर्स करता है. सेल मेम्ब्रेन के आउटसाइड में NH2 है और इनसाइड में COOH है. ये ग्रुप रहता है. And they are linked with G proteins. Adrenoreceptors are of 2 types, broad types, 2 types, that is alpha and beta. And there are subtypes of alpha, that is alpha 1 and alpha 2, and then beta 1, beta 2 and beta 3. Now we come to their locations. They are located in the central nervous system, which is central, and in the nerve endings, presynaptics, usually presynaptics in the nerve ending, and on effector cells, that is called postsynaptic. Now we come to the specific receptors and will come to alpha 1 receptor. Alpha 1 receptor, the site or location, it is mainly postsynaptic. That is, it is present on the effector cells or effector organs. Now, the mechanism of action. How does it act? How does it produce effect? Alpha 1, when combines with G protein, it increases phospholipase C. Phospholipase C or PLC is increased, and metabolism of membrane phosphatidyl inositol occurs. Due to increase in this PLC, metabolism of membrane phosphatidyl inositol occurs, which leads to formation of IP3, that is inositol triphosphate, and diacylglycerol, DAG. This all leads to increase in intracellular calcium ion and calmodulin, and ultimately all this leads to the cellular effect and the response. This is in short the mechanism of the alpha-1 receptors. Then what are the actions? When it is stimulated, the alpha-1 receptor is stimulated, what are the actions produced? There will be contraction of pilomotor muscles. So, there will be erection of hairs. Contraction of pilomotor muscles which will lead to erection of hairs. Hairs are erected. You know very well that this adrenergic system is responsible for stressful situation, isn't it? So, in cases of fear or some unusual circumstances, we find that there is erection of hairs. So, it is due to contraction of pilomotor muscles which leads to erection of hairs. Then contraction of dilated pupil muscle and active mydriasis occurs. The sympathetic system is concerned with fight and flight. So during flight the pupils have to be dilated. So here this contraction of dilated pupil occurs and active mydriasis is there, so the pupils are dilated. Then generalized vasoconstriction, especially skin, mucous membrane and renal vasoconstriction. So there will be increase in total peripheral resistance and it all will lead to hypertension. So there will be generalized vasoconstriction, especially skin, mucous membrane and renal vasoconstriction, and there will be increase in total peripheral resistance and it will all lead to hypertension. And the next effect is increase in viscid salivation. Salivation will be increased but it will be viscid. There will be a spasm of gastrointestinal tract and urinary bladder sphincters. So sphincters are closed. You are in a situation where it should remain closed because you are fighting with someone or you are under flight or flight. So spasm of gastrointestinal and urinary bladder sphincters occurs. Ejaculation and contraction of prostatic capsule and contraction of pregnant uterus. Contraction of pregnant uterus, not non-pregnant. And it facilitates the neuromuscular transmission. These are the effects produced when alpha-1 receptors are stimulated. Agonist, specific agonist of this receptor is phenylephrine and specific antagonist is prazosin. Prazosin is both drugs are important and we will learn later about these drugs. Then we come to alpha-2 receptors. Alpha-2 receptors, they are located or their sites are central nervous system, then it is located on presynaptic nerve terminal also, like presynaptic nerve endings, and postsynaptic on the effector organ. So it has distribution at presynaptic as well as postsynaptic synaptic nerve endings in addition to central nervous system. What is the mechanism here? It is stimulation of alpha-2 causes stimulation of alpha 2 combines with GI protein. GI protein, I indicates inhibitory, as you know very well. So it combines with GI protein, and there is inhibition of adenylate cyclase enzyme. Inhibition of adenylate cyclase enzyme, and so inhibition of cyclic AMP. So most of the actions will be inhibitory. So what are the actions? In central nervous system, it leads to sedation and inhibition of sympathetic center. Presynaptic or autoreceptors, it causes inhibition in release of noradrenaline, inhibition of in release of acetylcholine in enteric ganglia, and relaxation of gut wall. Upon kidney, it causes decrease in release of renin. In pancreas, it causes decrease in release of insulin. Fat cells, upon fat cells, it leads to decrease in lipolysis, and thereby there is decrease in free fatty acid. And upon platelets, it causes increase in platelet aggregation. Its selective antagonist is clonidine, and selective antagonist is yohimbine. So the selective agonist is clonidine and antagonist is yohimbine. Now we come to beta adrenoceptors or beta adrenergic receptors. There are three subtypes: beta 1, beta 2 and beta 3. And sites are mainly central nervous system, presynaptic and postsynaptic both. All beta receptors are linked to GS protein. So there will be increase in adenylate cyclase enzyme, and there will be increase in cyclic AMP. Now we come to presynaptic beta 1. When it is stimulated, there will be increase in release of noradrenaline. Upon postsynaptic beta 1 receptors, the mechanism here is beta 1 combining with GS protein, leading to increase in adenylate cyclase and increase in cyclic AMP. It acts upon the heart, and there will be increase in calcium influx and release from sarcoplasmic reticulum. Release of calcium and from sarcoplasmic reticulum. Thereby, all these finally leads to stimulation of heart. So, actions are stimulation of central nervous system, it stimulates heart, there will be increase in cardiac output. On kidney, it increases renin, and upon fat cells, it increases lipolysis, and there will be increase in free fatty acids. Selective agonist for the beta 1 receptors is dobutamine, and selective antagonist is atenolol. Now we come to postsynaptic beta 2 receptors. These all we are about. Now we postsynaptic beta 1. Now we come to postsynaptic beta 2 receptors. The mechanism here is beta 2 when combines with GS protein, there will be increase in adenylate cyclase, increase in cyclic AMP in smooth muscles of bronchi, and this will cause relaxation. So, actions are generalized vasodilation, especially skeletal vessels, and bronchodilation. Important action is generalized vasodilation, especially upon skeletal vessels, and there will be bronchodilation. Bronchi के मसल्स को डायलेट करेगा, रिलैक्स करेगा. There will be increase in glycogenolysis in liver and skeletal vessels. You are running, you are under flight, so your muscles needs more blood supply, and for nutrition it needs more glucose. So these all are associated with this. There will be increase in glycogenolysis in liver and skeletal muscles. There will be increase in release of insulin, and there will be increase in uptake of potassium ion by skeletal muscles. It relaxes GIT, urinary bladder and uterus, and upon skeletal muscles it may cause twitches and tremors. Selective agonist is salbutamol, and selective antagonist is butoxamine. Now there is third beta-3 postsynaptic beta-3 receptors. Mechanism is B3 which combines with GF protein. There will be increase in adenylate cyclase and increase in cyclic PMP. All stimulatory. Action is there is increase in lipolysis and increase in thermogenesis, heat production. Thermogenesis is heat production. Selective agonist is octopamine. And another drug, a new drug, that is mirabegron. Mirabegron is nowadays used for treatment of overactive bladder. It stimulates beta-3 receptors on the bladder, and so mirabegron is used for the treatment of overactive bladder. You will see patients who keep on passing urine frequently, and when it is diagnosed as overactive bladder, mirabegron can be used for the treatment. Now we come to dopamine receptors. Dopamine, you know very well that it is precursor of noradrenaline and adrenaline. When we were studying synthesis of catecholamines, you must have noticed that dopamine comes before this noradrenaline and adrenaline. It is a neurotransmitter and has two types of receptors, D1 and D2. D1 receptor, about D1 receptor, we will study about D1 receptor. Dopamine is 15 times more sensitive on D1 receptors than D2 receptor. And the site of this D1 receptor is renal, mesenteric and coronary vascular beds. Actions are vasodilatation, increase in glomerular filtration, and urinary excretion of potassium. So GFR will be increased, and there will be increase in urinary excretion of sodium. Sorry, it's not potassium, it is sodium. So they are present on presynaptic cardiac sympathetic fibers and modulate the action of noradrenaline on beta-1 receptors. D2 receptors, the site is in brain, basal ganglia, limbic system, hypothalamus and vomiting center. Its action, it plays an important role in treatment of Parkinsonism, psychosis and regulates hypothalamo-pituitary function. Now, how these receptors are activated? Dopamine receptor activations. D1 receptor activates GS protein, so there will be increase in cyclic AMP, and the actions will be stimulatory, most of the actions. D2 receptors activates GI protein. GI protein is inhibitory, and there will be decrease in cyclic AMP. So most of the actions are inhibitory. In addition to these receptors like alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, and dopamine receptors like D1 and D2, there are other autonomic neurotransmitters present. Apart from acetylcholine and noradrenaline, other chemical agents like ATP, adenosine, eicosanoids, nitric oxide and peptides, they modulate neurotransmission. They may act as co-transmitter, neuromodulators or even neurotransmitters. Now, these are all about this adrenergic receptors or agnoreceptors. So now we